Welcome to Tran wins Symphony of War. The success of the Nephilim army has awoken the sleeping hearts of the people of Tanra. They are finding the courage to fight to restore their freedom. But the forces of the Empire are still quite powerful and will crush any new resistance that might organize. The translated scrolls of the Historia Magnus point to a Nephilim shrine at Greywind Peak in the Sandraka continent. Seeking both to weaken the Empire here and to unlock the power of the shrine, Tran's army establishes a base in Sandraka district. Conquering the local Imperial army based at the port city of Crestmoor would be a straightforward task. However, an old, but all too familiar enemy makes itself known. Let's talk a bit about the Gaiden Chapters before we move on with the storyline. Gaiden Chapter A gives you the Paladin version of Sybil. Gaiden Chapter B gives you a level 35 dragon named Azeros. Gaiden Chapter C gives you a level 30 Templar named Adelia. Gaiden Chapter D, its mission parameters are kind of interesting, but its rewards are fairly lackluster. You can get 1 Pyrosite for every one of the 9 objective squads you defeat. And Gaiden Chapter E gives you Balmung and Artifact, as well as the Terror Nephilim power. The enemies for chapters A through D are level 28. And the level for the enemies in Gaiden Chapter E are level 30. If you approach these at a later chapter, they will still be the same levels. Also, after each mission, your marketplace refreshes. But this time, the map of Chapter 21 has enemies that are level 32, and the arena is also level 32. During Chapter 20, the enemies were level 28, so it would be a good idea to do at least one of these side quests to get some levels. Though you're fully capable of handling the next mission, I'm sure. Alright, let's go ahead and hit these supports. Beatrix and Jules, spending social capital. Hey Beatrix, how are you liking it here?
Oh, I guess I'm supposed to belong now.
So you're just gonna fly solo? Well, I'm not gonna let that happen.
Is that so? Good luck with that. But you do seem like a real sweetie. Perhaps I'll make you my most prized servant.
Oh, can I ask, how did you become so magically gifted? I've never seen your tricks, even from the most experienced battle mages.
This my gift and my curse, Jules. My existence is a bit of an experiment. You see, I'm the first Nephilim those cultists knew about, so they tried to twist me in every which way to get me to do their bidding. Really mess with my brain, they tell me.
Mess with your brain?
Don't you see? The elevator doesn't reach the top floor here. A few nuts and bolts missing. Who knows? I might just snap in the middle of this conversation and make you explode, just for fun. What do you think about that?
I don't think you'd do such a thing.
If you say so. Hey, you're a gem, but I've got to practice my skills, and I need you to keep your distance. Do take care,
Alright, sure. Have fun, Beatrix.
That I can do.
Tran and Beatrix, the Pendergast fortune. Beatrix, I have so much to ask you.
Tran, please ask away. I'll talk as long as I'm not bored. It helps that you are pretty. Don't let anyone tell you that being pretty isn't important.
You're of the Pendergast family, as in Edmund Pendergast, richest person alive.
Yes, indeed. The very same.
You must stand to inherit untold riches.
Well, I do deserve all the world's riches. That doesn't mean the old man's going to bequeath his fortune solely to me. He's got an army of sycophants looking to take a bite out of his empire at all times. Guess we'll see when that cold, ancient heart of his finally gives out.
Not the closest with your father, huh?
Oh, really? Whatever gave it away? No, maybe someday I'll tell you why.
No worries. I'm wondering how Pendergast came into his wealth. Almost seems unfair.
When the lion slays the gazelle, would you rather lament the unfairness of nature or try to become the lion? You know anything about the Ethereum crisis?
I like to say I'm a history nerd, so yes.
Well, Poindexter, you're in for a treat. Pendergast has always been around, but once the world got a nice facelift from the destruction caused by the Ethereum crisis, Pendergast was there to buy up all of the cheapened real estate. That, and they financed the reconstruction efforts from shore to shore. That sort of thing pays off big time. It's the banker who rules the world without swinging a sword. Wait a few generations, invest the earnings, and now they control whoever they can buy. You know, that does sound pretty unfair now that you mention it.
So in lieu of you inheriting this fortune, what exactly has led you down this path?
And what path would that be?
I guess I don't know that one either.
I will confess, I sometimes feel like an alien living among humans. Your customs and earthly pleasures bore me. What really gets me going is seeing what kind of disruption I can weave. Right now, that puts me on your side. But later, if I should develop the means, I'm not sure. I could just become your greatest adversary if doing so is entertaining to me. Does that make you nervous?
Yep, a little, but I'm a better judge of character than you think. If I truly felt that you would bring us down, I'd let you know, but I don't feel that way.
Aw, so trusting. Easier to devour when I'm good and ready.
Beatrix, you are a character.
And you have successfully entertained me, and I can already feel boredom creeping in. Do be a dear and visit me some other time,
Of course, enjoy. One of the things we had been holding off on until the main storyline episodes. Tech 3. First, we're going to get the morale bonus when we're within range of a town, followed by regeneration within the same range. We will make our archers light movement type, followed by our dragoons also light movement type. Our conscripts are already one level higher than without the technology. They will now be 4 levels higher total with this. They will have full mastery of tier 1 classes, which is fighter, bowman, militia, medic, and finally, most importantly, they have full loyalty to begin with. That's if we hire more people. All of our characters will have 10 capacity limit extra. Our gunners and dragoons will get an extra attack. And our siege cannons will fire up to a range of 3 at this point. Technology or achievement unlocked, learned commander. Before we deploy, I have accumulated a few resources. So this next map, it has a limit of 15 for deployment phase. So I've already chosen the 3 extra units to be deployed. First is going to be Barnabas. He's added back to the rotation for this next map. We've added Ludwig and Isolde. Isolde actually started as a paladin because paladins have a lot more threat value. So for Silver Tongue, having higher threat value makes it easier to surrender. But after a little bit of experimentation, it was okay. With her being a level 99, it wasn't going to change much of any result, whether she's a 99 Valkyrie or 99 Paladin. And I knew that I wasn't using my Paladin team. So I actually had a Paladin team set in reserve. There were something like 6 to 8 Paladins with the Overpower trait. Do I have one in here? Okay, well, Overpower, what that does is it gives you more morale damage to the enemy based off of your strength difference. So I was thinking like, okay, we'll level up some Paladins to just shred the enemy morale. But I never used them because I'm so obsessed with having cavalry. I went ahead and just converted them all to Valkyrie so that we can start using them. So she will be one of the squad leaders. The other squad leader is another bowman turned dragoon, who is also a silver-tongued person. Alright, so with that in mind, we're going to read some books today. To begin with, let's go ahead and start with some low-level books. I have enough beacon books to pull this off. These drop fairly frequently, and I don't know if this is worth it or not, but for the current playstyle we're doing, we're generally having dragons fly off on their own, and having beacon might make it easier for me to keep them healthy. So I have enough beacon books for all of our silver dragon riders, and I still haven't 100% decided if I'm going to leave them silver. Their armor has been nerfed. It's 50 now. It used to be 70. In fact, why don't we go and take a look now to see if there's anything we want. So it's 50, 224, 147, 133. Actually, we can kind of compare from here, because you can see that the stats don't really go up when he becomes a rider. So we can actually go back to Dragon and just kind of look around. So he gets maxed out strength, because he trained as a red dragon for most of this time. So he's going to have substantial stats. The Silver Dragon with the armor nerf, which, again, I don't see in the patch notes anywhere, he is kind of one of the weaker ones at this point. I might go with blue for the extra 70 points in skill, since it has the same hit points, strength, and magic as the silver dragon, at least for Nibbler. Alright, we'll go red dragon, even though we are hitting max at this point, that little bit of strength wasted, there's still so much extra magic juice going through Nibbler at this point, that I think the little bit of extra strength wasted is worth the skill we're losing. So we'll go ahead and make him a red dragon flyer. Alright, so the level 99s we're going to go ahead and attach a beacon to. These are not 99 because they're still red dragons, and eventually I'll go and train these guys later. Let's see here, you're 99. So we'll go and convert it to a red dragon. Toss a beacon book on him. Same for this 99. And maybe they'll re-add that armor. I don't know. It could have been an accident. But as it stands right now, I don't have much of a reason to stay Silver Dragon. Is his strength so phenomenal? Let's see, 218, 153. So this is like the Silver Dragon is the same thing as the Blue Dragon, except with less skill and more hit points. That's really all it comes down to. Now that armor is no longer a factor. But yeah, I will just go ahead and convert them all to red dragons for now, and maybe I'll more closely analyze it later. There it is. So I can't tab between each squad, I can only tab between these two in this squad, so that's why I have to pop out of it every time. One of the reasons why I'm only giving this to the 99 dragons is because I don't have enough beacons for everybody yet. They seem to drop very frequently. I get them without trying. Alright. Now with them taken care of, we're going to give the Sentinels, I mean, it feels kind of a waste because this is a little bit rarer. I haven't found many of these, but I do have 4 Bloodlust books, and I happen to have, currently, 4 Dragon detachments. So let's go ahead. And if I were playing, not recording this, I probably would never use these books. But I'm trying to push myself to do so because I think it makes for a more interesting video if we have cool skills. We have 4 Bloodlusts and 4 Sentinels. These Sentinels, aside from Zetini, all have Warrior's Hubris. I'm not sure how good that is, especially if they have low magic, but it sounds like a cool skill, so we're just gonna give it to them and hope that these are the best possible Sentinels for them. That like, for example, I have Sentinels with Imposing and such. I have Sentinels with Unscathed. I don't know what would be the best trait for a Sentinel. Because it doesn't tell me how good Warrior's Hubris is. It just says resistance to magic and dragon attacks as strength increases. Well, he's got 92 strength. It's pretty good. It's not the highest we've ever seen, especially when we're looking at dragons with 255 stats. See, this is Zetini. Alright, so I was thinking about giving Zetini Warrior's Hubris. That's one of my concerns. But now, Zetini will heal anytime he kills somebody. And in fact, I don't even think it has to be Zetini to kill somebody. I think it's just as long as my squad kills somebody. That might be a bug, but that's what I think is happening. Anyways, the Sentinel will heal, and hopefully the dragon should beacon. Alright. So that's this squad here. Beatrix is not counting this because she pretty much stands on her own. She's a really powerful companion. Tran is just sort of flying around. I try to let him stay out of battle. Beatrix, on the other hand, I try to get her in battle. I want her to build up that leadership stat. Barnabas. This is just a hodgepodge crew. He's got people such as, let's see here, Sybil, level 24 paladin. We're going to watch her leadership skyrocket. She's going to be one of my highest leadership characters. Or important character people, whatever you want to call them. Raskuja, he probably joined Barnabas later on, but I stopped him around after 100. Sybil, by the time she reaches 99, I'm kind of wondering what her leadership will look like. We have a 33 Sorceress, a Adelia, the Templar. So these are all characters that are going to train under Barnabas the Sentinel. Even Azrael's, he's going to get some leadership. So these are all my lowest level characters. 32 Samurai, 32 Samurai, 35 Swordmaster. He was a recent hire. Alright, now to the main army. We're going to split our army into 2 detachments. One group of 4 to the left, one group of 4 to the right. The group of 4 to the left are equipped with Gorilla Armor. The group of 4 going to the right is equipped with Kesh's Toolkit. So it took me so long to prepare Silver Tongue. Treasure Hunter? Actually, not that long. I mean, okay. I did save and maybe run with it every time I got Treasure Hunter, but I found Treasure Hunter a lot more times than I found Silver Tongue. Silver Tongue I had to actually try for. And I'm still not happy with the amount of Silver Tongues we have. I need more, because later on we'll have a detachment of 20. So, and I'm only at 15 now. That means I need to find maybe 3 more Silver Tongues? I don't know. But I have enough for my crew right now. So we're gonna go and give Percy Silver Tongue, which maybe we'll get rid of it later, which it would be kind of a waste of a book, but if I wasn't gonna intend to use the book, it doesn't matter if it's in my inventory or not, I can't even sell it. I've already mentioned my thoughts on Silver Tongue. It is okay. It definitely needs an improvement, a buff of some sort, but whatever. Alright, let's go on to the next party. So all of these treasure hunters that have been with me since basically the 5th or 6th chapter, we're going to give them Silver Tongue. So they are both treasure hunter Silver Tongues. So Barad and then his compatriot Filbert. And then the new guy, Ludwig. He is a Silver Tongue person, so we're going to give him, you guessed it, Treasure Hunter. Now, we're back to the Valkyrie section. They're going to get Silver Tongue. Silver Tongue. Valkyrie, Silver Tongue. And then my Silver-tongued Valkyrie, she's gonna get Treasure Hunter. Okay, and the Balmung, well, we can go and show that off real quick. I'm guessing the Hand of Xanatos put this back. I don't quite know what's going on here. You can ignore this bottom part, that's total artifact stats. The Balmung is up here. It's got 46 to my as a penalty to my maximum hit points, gives me 10 strength, 8 armor, 8 magic, and 24 skill at the cost of what would normally be 3 capacity, except for my tech, which makes it 2. I don't know. It does not. I am underwhelmed with this Balmung. It doesn't seem worthy of the name. I don't know. I'm not complaining. Maybe it's good, but if we compare, for example, oops, I didn't mean to. All right, so these are orange items, the legendary. They should be the best in period. Okay, well let's take a look. For example, we like everlasting potions. Do I think an everlasting potion has a better impact than a Balmung? Yes, I do. Okay, Jade figurine. We've seen how powerful this thing can be in chapter 20D. Is the Balmung on par with the Jade figurine? No, it's not. Yet the Jade figurine is just some no-name item, whereas the Balmung is a specific, super powerful sword of ancient legends. It's just me. I want my characters to be powerful, so I'd love to see the Balmung just tear people apart, left and right. That's probably not going to happen, but a warlord can dream, right? Temporal Modulator. So powerful it got nerfed, right? That it doesn't say it in this text description, but it only works for the first 3 battles every phase. So in one phase, if an enemy hits you 4 times, the 4th guy will attack normally. But then the next phase after that the counter restarts. There's never going to be any PvP, but I still amused myself by coming up with this plan where I would attack a player who's relying on the modulator. I'd attack him with just a solitary archer, 3 different squads of them, just a single archer, and then go rush at him with my best unit. I don't know. Again, there's not any PvP. It's just one of my thoughts. Chapter 21, Liberating Sandraka. We've got the Empire on the defensive. Seems like they're pulling out their elite forces. The local army seems pretty weak. Our biggest enemy here might be the weather. This region is notorious for flash storms coming in from the seas to the west. Tide Reavers! Those blokes just don't know when to quit! We'd best worry about them, friend. The last thing we want is them nipping on our heels. If memory serves me right, that there's their main hideout. Their main hideout. We'll have to send a detachment to that fort. Destroy them all! The main group will push east to the port city of Crestmoor. Alright, to begin with, let's go ahead and quickly deploy our sentinels. So we'll have Noah and Atkin on the left, because there's fewer enemies on the left, so I think that stronger dragons are the order of the day that way. Sorry, let me explain. If you have seen my other videos, the 4 sentinels are only different in their levels, essentially. Otherwise, their stats are mostly the same. Zeteni is my best sentinel, Atkin is my worst sentinel. But to help circumvent that, the dragon in the back is the strongest for Atkin, second strongest Noel, third strongest, and then weakest for Zeteni. So with all these rogues over here, we're having the guy in the back line the most bulky. So the dragon going to the left is very powerful. Whereas Zeteni, who's going to be soaking up damage from all these, so the sentinels are over here are very powerful. That's that taken care of. So let's go and start deploying our soldiers. Percy is gorilla armor, and so are all the other male crew. And then we have the Valkyries, who are equipped with Sayonari war pikes. And then we have Barnabas. We'll put him on the mountains, close to the enemy. He is an infantry unit. So he doesn't move as fast. If he gets any action, we'll see. He may not. I'll put Beatrix at the top, because she's a flyer and she can maneuver anywhere she needs to. There is a bazaar up here, which we already have prepared. Okay, let's go ahead and start.
Do you know who I am? You make this too easy.
Okay, let's go ahead and see. We have another dragon. No traits, but we'll work on that sometime. We have iron. Actually, I don't really need iron much longer, because I'm about to hit cap. Obsidian, 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 and the sunstone. That's what I see them as. Alright, why did I pick this marketplace? Because it's another silver tongue. So yeah, I won't bother showing you or boring you with the marketplace in town, because it's just going to be the same thing, only of less quality. So if there are bazaars on the map, I'll go and just show briefly what we're picking up. Don't really care too much about the black belts, so we'll just leave that behind. My game lags a little bit when I load up my artifacts, because I have so many. My advice is to deal with the left side first, because these 8 will immediately start pursuing you, as well as this guy right here. I think these 2 also. The archer for sure. Now, these 12, stand still. So this is your primary objective, however, and this is your optional objective. So I would just go west and then turn to the right before you finish, leaving a couple guys to finish off the boss. And you should make it well before the mission ends. Well, target turn is not a hard limit, but... Aside from the artifact distinction between the west and east forces, on the west forces we've got a sentinel in the back row with imposing in order to lure the rogues in to attack them. And if the rogues don't attack them, horse archers are fairly sturdy once you've added in all those techs. The groups on the right, since they're facing up with cavalry, have a centurion in the front row, so that I can have an extra raider. This squad of 4, however, will be stationary so long as you don't enter their area, so we'll stop our guy right there. And I should be able to stop here. So we'll go ahead and place A soldier, probably this one here. So the bridge has been blocked off. We will immediately pivot left. Even if they heal it off, I'm really looking for just the morale damage.
School is in session.
Alright, you will be amazed with how fast his characters learn. So let's take a look at Adelia. Her leadership is 30 right now, right? Watch that number.
I must stay strong. The battle lies before me.
Since somebody from that squad already surrendered, I still call that a win. Alright, Dragon Breath, and I got a heal, 72 out of it. But the beacon is not doing anything, so my red dragon is not getting any life back. Basically means I wasted a bunch of beacon books, but I guess I probably wouldn't have done anything else with them, except make my Lysander army. So if I find enough beacon books by the end of the game, I would try making that Lysander army and see how that turns out. They were very, very common, but I mean, I guess that's to be expected with it being a low-level book. I think I've decided I'm gonna make these guys silver dragons instead, even if I don't have the armor bonus, because I'm trying to make my dragons weaker. They're already level 99, most of them, and I still have some problems eradicating an entire squad without meaning to, so I should probably nerf my dragons a little more until the enemy catches up in strength. As you can see, we have absolutely nothing to worry about over here. These guys are just defending their home.
Dinner time.
Alright, so this will probably be the last time I have to say this, since now we're back on the main storyline. If you see me do a forced surrender on someone, I don't know, forced surrender / voluntary surrender, those are kind of opposite things, but anyways, if you see me do a surrender attack on somebody, and I know that I don't have a chance to succeed, it's probably because I just wanted one attack. Alright, so let's watch Barnabas. Remember, Deli had 30 leadership. When you see leadership up, it doesn't necessarily mean it went up just one. It could be more than one. It's just not here because this is an extreme case with a level 99, 255 leadership Barnabas training a low-level 30 leadership person. This is why I gave the low-level people to Barnabas. He grows them so fast. And your number of deployments increase over the game. So in about 3 chapters, I'll go up from 15 to 20. We just got to 15. I think that was kind of a big jump there, but alright. Stunned. I don't want to do too much damage, so things that'll nerf my damage potential is pretty good. Okay, they'll probably go for the guy on top. So we can probably take some of the heat off of him by standing here. Now, I'm not worried too much that he'll die or anything. I just want the enemy to be controllable. I want to know where they're going to be at all times, like a concerned parent.
Time to act is now.
I don't know why your morale is so high. I feel like you should be giving up. There we go.
Ready.
Yeah, I thought it was safe, but I don't really need to go that direction right now.
For my people, for my homeland.
And I'm still close enough that if for some reason something unexplainable happened that I wasn't ready for, I can still fly right to the base and protect it. Yeah, that's fine. I was fully ready for that when I knew I couldn't reach the hill. And this time we'll start from up top and work our way bottom, meaning that we'll clear out these guys, and whatever's left will start moving back down.
Ready for the barbecue.
I guess we could start off with you. Again, I'm approaching this as a perspective of a puzzle more than combat. I think I know what I need to do.
I must stay strong.
School is in session.
You know what? I'm actually off by a tile, so we're gonna teleport. I think right there is where I want to be. Hold on. Yeah. I'm off by a bit. I should have moved him here, so we are just gonna go ahead and squander a teleport to fix that. But that is what these are for, to be used, not to sit in my inventory forever. Additionally, while we're at it, let's go ahead and it pretty much recovers on the 3rd turn. So if you haven't destroyed them by that point, you pretty much have wasted your terror. Oh no, that was too far. This was where I wanted, where I went the first time. Now in Ogre Battle, you could call your troops to retreat at any point. Run up, use a tarot card, which is basically the player casting a spell from anywhere in the map to that battle, and then you could run away. Alright, this group does not surrender.
Do you know who I am?
We're just gonna handle this the easy way. Now, even though they don't agree to surrender, I still feel that this makes them more likely to surrender in battle, having a lower morale. Like right there, that was 100% surrenders. I don't think I would have gotten that if they were still a good morale to begin with. Maybe I would have gotten most.
School is in session.
The battle lies before me.
Alright, so you might wonder why I meteored that specific dude rather than any of these other cavalry armies. Well, that's because if I meteor the other cavalry armies, I'm far more likely to kill the squads outright. However, the archers, they get demoralized pretty easily, I've found. I don't know if that's a thing, or I think it's probably because they can all get defeated at the same time. I don't know. But whatever the case is, I have an easier time getting mass squads of archers to surrender simultaneously than, say, knights. the knights in the top right, because they're cavaliers, or tier 2 unit, if they attack one of my sentinels, they're actually very, very likely to die. We'll say 7 out of 8 times. Not only are they tier 2, but there's fewer of them than what we have here. So I actually will be inching up to the line, and then I'll charge at them. With my speed advantage, I can hit them, and they cannot reach me. Yeah, they'll be able to go up to here, so as long as I don't basically one tile past the fort, we're good. Perfect. Only the leader, everybody else is alive. That is prime taking for Barnabas.
Master Sergeant, awaiting orders.
You make this too easy.
The time to act is now. Ready.
This group is the one that needs the most damage.
got all day.
Alright, I've got room for one mistake, I suppose. We'll start with this one on the corner. Hopefully I can get enough charge for terror. Alright. Now we will tear this group. You can't reach, right? Yeah. Only gonna affect this guy, but that's okay. There we go. I don't mind if he takes shots. It's free experience for me, so.
You got a plan?
For my people, for my homeland.
Dinner time. Ready for the barbecue.
Personally, I find the rain kind of annoying.
I must stay strong.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than I really wanted to. Oh no! I was so close to getting a perfect 100% all the squads in this map surrendered, but alright, alright. Yeah, that was a little bit too much damage there. I knew it was just gonna be the dragon. I didn't realize I was gonna free action that one, but alright.
who I am? You make this too easy.
The battle lies before me.
School is in session. Master Sergeant awaiting orders.
This is a Medal of Valor, if I remember correctly. Leadership trophy. Yeah. Okay, he has not taken a lot of damage. Morale is still fair. I guess we'll continue to take shots at him. This group will surrender. I'm hoping to give this group over to Barnabas, but if Beatrix makes it here before their morale drops, I guess we'll do that.
Dinner time.
I ain't got all day.
Alright, this is the last turn I can have before I fail the S rank turn-based objective. Let me double check everything. We have 6 of 7. This is the 7th objective to capture. We've defeated all the squads. I guess the boss squad isn't one of the starred ones. So this is the last turn I can do that. Not to be confused with the complete the chapter within 10 turns objective, which is different.
Ready for the barbecue.
Beatrix is really good at getting enemies to surrender. I might give her the silver tongue we bought. I was really thinking about Treasure Hunter just because she can eliminate groups, but I don't know.
You got a plan?
Barnabas doesn't really need that. Ludwig, he's one of the new squads I created. Crestmoor Town Square later that evening. You're conflicted. I can smell it on you. I ask you to consider what we are doing and to keep this Beatrix on a short leash. I hear you. Beatrix just falls into our lives and now we're chasing legends. We know so little about these divine weapons. You've seen Beatrix's magic. That's a lot of power. Aren't you at least curious? I am always curious, but this is reckless. You must at least give me time to interpret the Historia Magnus. I believe I am starting to make sense of it. Of course, only you would have that kind of patience. Certainly not me. Sometimes I can't put thoughts into words. My experience with death and rebirth? It seems beyond the realm of words to describe. Yep. Same with this draw to the divine shrines. Lysander, I felt something familiar in the shrine at Mount Karnak. It's like I've been living a lie until that moment. How can one resist the long-awaited truth? Could you? Tran? I swore to be your right hand, and a proper right hand does not let his leader go unprepared. I just ask that you keep your eyes open. There is something going on that I do not like. We are about to pursue the shrine at Greywind Mountain. Let us hope we find the answers we need there. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Symphony of War. I'll see you next time.